I started watching the project from the 134th Street Bridge, but when I saw people down below, I knew I must get there. And when I got there, I was warmly welcomed.
I'm Megan Reed. I'm a PIO with WSDOT.
We're looking at I'm going to leave you for a minute. We're looking at the placement of the girders over I-5 for this new interchange. Quite an operation here. And this is supposed to be closed for 54 hours, but you're telling me that it's ahead of schedule?
It is. We're quite ahead of schedule. It looks like we're going to be reopening, we're hoping by around midnight.
Well, this is great. Good job.
Yeah, real proud of our crews.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Shortly later, the 9th beam drove into place, and I began to learn the technique that they had to use. Because the beams were parallel with the highway, they had to find some way to make them crosswise before they were able to lift them. It took 3 cranes and the truck all operating in concert with each other. It was like a dance, a well-choreographed dance. First, the truck, as you saw, has to pull the beam almost all the way under the existing structure, and then the small white crane has to hook up. With the small white crane hooked up, that crane will begin to swivel toward the right while the truck backs up. You know what? I think it's going to look better from the other side. I'm going to run around over there and we'll see. There it is. The crane is beginning to swing. At the same time, the truck is backing up. That part of it I saw real good from the other side. The other video's got that. Because each side has got its advantages. Pretty soon it's going to be more or less parallel to the other girders, and then it has to be hooked on the red crane. And there's another cherry picker that'll bring a guy in there to do that. A great feat of coordination here. 3 cranes and the truck all have to do their job right, and like at the same time. So here comes the girder. You hear that truck backing up. Gingerly. Oh, look at that. Just right next to each other. Red crane says, "May I cut in?" If you keep your eye on that red triangle with the yellow pulley below it in the center of the screen, you'll see that the weight is suspended on a straight line through 2 of the holes. And there's a 3rd hole open where the red crane will now hook up. And then you should be able to see the weight transfer if you keep a look right on that small triangle there. Now the red crane is hooked up, and you can see it transfer. They pull away for safety as the weight transfers. The 2 cranes working slowly and carefully together. These beams weigh 175,000 pounds. and they're 165 feet long. The cranes are rated at over 230 tons, and that little triangle is rated at 50 tons. One reason the span is so long is for possible future expansion of I-5 on either side. That's good forward thinking by WashDOT. Although I had never seen this technique before, talking with the contractor, he said it's very common that they have to do things like this with this horizontal swing. And I thought to myself, it's kind of like they say about the golfers. These guys are good. Now which crane has the weight?
Here they come. This particular action I was not able to see good from the other side. Okay, the white one is away. So he's going to get out of the way. Then they're going to continue the swing. Okay. Red crane is swinging and the truck is backing up.
Bringing the other end around so they can hook up the white crane. And now we will have the final pairing of our dance. We started with the small white crane and the truck. Small white crane gave it over to the red crane, and he continued with the truck. And now the red crane and the big white crane will be the final partnership in our Changing Partners dance.
We were told this was going to be a 54-hour job. It looks like it's going to be a 12-hour job. Well, maybe 24. Think about it. Well, they closed 11 last night. They think they'll be done by midnight.
Now, after all the preparations, the lift and placement itself took about 20 minutes, very slowly. Don't forget, we're dealing with 175,000 pounds of concrete encased steel. In the interest of the viewer, I have shortened that time. First, of course, by taking a bunch out, which brought it down to about 6 minutes, and then I squoze it together and speeded it up down into about 2 minutes. Even so, it may seem a little bit slow, but it has to be. Oh, and by the way, let me remind you, say it all together now. Don't try this at home. And it is very delicate work. There's a lot of very minor, very delicate adjustments that must be made by these two cranes operating together. Well, move it a tad up, would you please? Oh, my way a smidgen. No, better make that 2 smidgens. Back and forth, up and down, a little higher over here, a little lower over here, until they get it all placed. As I said before, these guys are good. But the lifting and placing is not the only job. Back on the other side, there's a whole nother crew working. Up on top. Just like the completed section, they're using 4x4s and plywood to put in a floor so nothing will drop on the traffic as it goes under the bridge. This video is the product of 3 actual visits over here. The first one I got with my phone camera from this side. That was number 9. Then I went to get my bigger camera and recharge my phone battery. A couple of hours later, when I got back, they already had number 10 in place. About a half an hour later, on the other side, I watched number 11 drive into place and caught that whole sequence. Then I went for some dinner. I got back about 9:30, and I found it like this. I like this shot. It gives us a chance to see the whole beam across there, unfettered by that crane that we had in the middle on the other side. And it was kind of satisfying to see that final beam go in so nicely. Oh yeah, I did come back at midnight, and sure enough, I drove right through, just as promised. Good job, WashDOT and Max J. Cooney Company.